Hi everybody, welcome back. Thomas and I are discussing more things about e-commerce, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the effect of online buying as it relates to the retail establishment, also known as brick and mortar stores.
That's right, Michael. One of the things I'm very interested in is how the expanding online e-commerce business is affecting the stores and the shops called brick and mortar shops downtown in the cities. What is that doing to our economies? Is this really beneficial, or is this ultimately going to do a lot of harm?
Well, that's an excellent question. I think, in my own personal opinion, I think the big box stores such as Walmart and Costco, Target, they will all survive because they have a huge volume. We're talking about economies of scale before and so on and so forth. They have access to lots of manufacturers and so on. But for the smaller retailer, I think it's going to have, sorry to say this, a devastating effect on them, because people, I think, generally will have a positive experience when they're buying online, and this will simplify the need for purchasing at brick and mortar stores in the future. I'm kind of old school. I want to, as I mentioned in an earlier lecture, that I like to go and see things and touch them and feel them and get kind of an idea about it. But I might be lured to the brick and mortar store by what I've seen online. So for me, I try to use both of them. I might compare prices. I know some people have seen something online, and then they'll go to the store, they'll try the garment on or the shoes on, and then go back and purchase online because then they know the size. Because one of the problems of purchasing online, and I've had this problem before with clothing, manufacturers have different, even though they might have XL, 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 there might be 3 different sizes of XL, and you don't know which size fits. Even if they have a sizing chart, the sizing chart may not be accurate either. And I bought some cycling jerseys from a shop in England. I looked at their sizing chart, I measured myself, they shipped me the goods, they were too small. And I wrote back to them and I said, these goods do not match your sizing chart. So I finally got the proper size, but it took a while. So I think that's one of the disadvantages, and I think going to a brick and mortar store would allow you to try the things on and so on and so forth. And in that sense, because I'm dealing with a person face to face, I prefer to give them my business that way than something that's online who I don't have any kind of face-to-face contact with. So that's just me. I don't know how it is.
Even if you have to pay a little more money, you're saying you sometimes prefer the brick and mortar shopping experience because you can try the clothes on right there. You can pick them up, pick things up, touch it, really look at it, see how it's made, and make a decision right there. Whereas with online shopping, you really you do your homework, but then you're still like gambling.
That's true, very true. There is some element of risk involved, and the problem is, I think, if I'm dealing with a brick and mortar store and I purchase something and somehow I decide, the shoes fit fine in the store, but when I get home they don't fit as well, I can just get in my car or on my scooter and take them back and try to exchange them. And that portion of the buying experience will be, what I want to say, that will be solved so much quicker than if I do it through the mail, because then I have to box the shoes back up, I have to take them to the post office, I have to pay the shipping back. A lot of times the customer is responsible for the shipping back.
I see.
And in this case, what I have with the bad experience, where I continue to have the bad experience with the one company, they have a restocking fee, even if it's their error.
Wow.
And the restocking fee is 20%. I mean, this is just a total ripoff.
Yeah.
And even if it's their error, they've shipped the wrong size or the wrong product or the wrong color, whatever it might be, you will still be penalized for their error.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really something to consider. And now I see why. It's so important to read the fine print. Before we purchase anything online, it's important to read what we call the fine print, the little details. For example, Michael mentioned a restocking fee. That means the store is going to charge you a percentage of the entire cost for you to, for example, return the merchandise or get a different size.
Right. Not only do you get stuck with the postage fee going back, and if you have not completed the paperwork properly, a lot of times the online company will tell you that you need to have a certain form issued by them, which means
Wow.
you have to maybe download it, you have to print it out. If you don't have a printer at home, you got to put on your USB and go 7-Eleven and print it out, and then put it in the box, make sure everything's packaged properly, make sure you have the proper customs declaration form on it, and then send it off and just hope and pray that it gets there safely, and then they can exchange the product or refund your money. That is so time consuming.
Yeah.
So time consuming. And as you said, I'm willing to pay a little bit more to deal with somebody face to face, take something back, exchange it. I'm happy, and I can go away. My purchase is completed.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, I guess the main thing we learned from this conversation is, number one, you've got to read the fine print. Number
Correct.
two, there are benefits sometimes to actually driving to the local store and paying a little bit more money to check the product, try it on, rather than saving just a little money by buying online.
Right. And the end result means that initially you thought you might save money buying online, and you end up paying more if the product is wrong size, wrong color, whatever the case may be, and you have to ship it back. So you may be penalized yourself for that. So I'm a firm believer in looking at whatever it is you're interested in online, then maybe going to the retail establishment and buying it there, pay a little more. As I said, I prefer the face-to-face contact, and hopefully it's a better shopping experience. And we also keep companies in business that way too.
I see, that makes sense. And you can actually choose. Sometimes you pay a little more at the brick and mortar shop, but your shopping experience might be a little more enjoyable. Or sometimes, if price is what you're after, then online shopping.
Right, right. Okay, you guys, thanks very much. We finished up another lecture here, and we had our discussion about some of the advantages of purchasing online, or my preference. Even though I do purchase online, my preference is actually brick and mortar. And my first question would be, what is a brick and mortar establishment?
Second question is, what are some of the advantages of purchasing products from a brick and mortar establishment? And what are some of the advantages of purchasing online?
All right, so I hope that our discussion helped you gain some insight to the advantages and disadvantages of both online and brick and mortar shopping, and you'll be able to use that in your future purchases. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.